This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
99X in the Morning X. It's Barnes and Leslie. Time to talk a little travel. Very cool story you may or may not have seen pushing out there in the recent times. Delta is partnering with a company called JetZero on a revolutionary, much more sustainable aircraft that looks and feels nothing like you have ever seen. Looking at this photograph of this thing, it looks like something out of Star Trek, or I don't even know where to begin, but it looks freaking cool.
It looks sleek inside as well. Yes.
If I could design my own PJ, that's private jet, Fram, I would design it to look like this. So let's bring some players on that can really tell us what's going on. One, Amelia DeLuca. She is the Chief Sustainability Officer at Delta. And Tom O'Leary, who is the CEO of JetZero. Amelia, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And hi, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Thank you for joining us. So what's the big idea behind this new aircraft design? I mean, how does this differ from what passengers are flying like right now?
Thank you. Well, we both love this project so much, Leslie and Barnes, so you're going to hear us both enthusiastically talk more about this. But, Delta's celebrating its 100 years this year, and I'm imagining most of the people who are listening right now have probably traveled by air, hopefully on Delta, and had a lovely experience. And it's a great experience, but the tube and wing, which is what we call today's aircraft, they constrain things, right? It means you've got middle seats. It means you've got people who are blocked from using the restroom. It can sometimes put limitations on our service. And so when we think about the next 100 years of travel, we want to take away some of those pain points that we know of from our customers while also designing an aircraft that is, much better for the environment.
Delta knows their customers so well, right? And so we're just so happy to be able to partner with them as we take this new shape, right? It's this super aerodynamic, looks more like a manta ray or a stealth fighter than a traditional aircraft. And it really creates a new shape that allows us to look at really everything on the plane and say, how can we do this better? And that's not something that you can do in a vacuum. You need to talk with your customer who really understands their customer. And we have this incredible opportunity to design a cabin of the future that people are going to rave about. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, the design is really futuristic. I love it. You said that this is something for the future. When would this actually be available?
Well, we're testing now with scale models and a full-scale prototype on the way that we're working with NASA and the Air Force to develop so that we can certify the aircraft for the 2030s.
Wow. If I saw this in the air right now testing, I would think something was wrong. I would think something like something big's going on and we don't know what's happening. What is the cabin? You talk about the cabin of the future. And you can look me up, Amelia, in your little computer system. Mm-hmm. My butt is in your planes all the time. So I'm very curious about this. What does the cabin look like compared to now and the boring, tube and wings? What is it? What's different?
Yeah, well, it's a great point. And again, it's being informed by data. We know when our customers today have high stress and pain points. And a lot of it, honestly, is around the boarding experience. It's when you're trying to queue up to board. It's trying to make sure you can get your luggage on board. And then, of course, it's that, we try to make it as lovely as possible, but the middle seat is no one's favorite seat. So
right.
when we think about the aircraft of the future, you want to be informed by those stress points. And so things that we're looking at, because this is a much wider aircraft, you said stealth, someone compared it to a nacho. So for what it's worth, just think of a triangle. And so if you have a lot more width, it means you can do these different bays of seating. And so you can essentially say, we don't want any middle seats. We want everyone to have overhead dedicated bin space. We want everyone to always have access to the restroom, and we want to make it easier for our employees as well by putting that galley in the center, which means that they can get the products to our customers in a more easy and a flowing format. And so all of those are things that we're trying to reimagine as we design this aircraft.
Well, with the layout being so wide, I'm thinking a pickleball court right in the middle would be...
love it.
Not a bad idea.
Perfect.
It's actually just about that size.
It looks like
size. So that's
very wide. Yeah,
that's good.
Well, Tom and Amelia, I'm really impressed, especially about this being more fuel efficient. But I do need to know about something else outside of the comfort level. Can we talk about elevated snacks on the flight?
Fran's worried about the snacks.
I mean, it's
Trying to save the planet.
It's a legit question, Barnes.
Will there be
Well, I
wider
mean,
snacks?
Well, probably not.
I love the
shapes,
cookies
Right? We're
on-
going to stick with the theme.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say I love those chocolate cookies on the Delta flights. They are fantastic.
Well, Tom, you guys at JetZero, you're claiming that this design is 50% more fuel efficient. Why is that? I mean, what makes it possible? Is it the shape, the materials, the engines? Like, what makes it that way?
Well, materials, composites, carbon fiber essentially this is what we've been using on planes for a little bit. So that's lighter and that's great, but really it's all about the shape, right? It's just 30% aerodynamically more efficient. You get more benefit from having less weight and less drag and a smaller engine. And there's a lot of goodness around there. This shape is really, though, the starting point. It's the gift that keeps on giving, right? It's really all about the aero, right? It's a first principle solution. You just go back to, like, if you started from scratch and said, knowing we have composites, how are we going to build an aircraft today? You'd say, make it the most aerodynamic thing you possibly can.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Looking from above, it looks, you're right, like a big arrow. It's just so cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking to Tom O'Leary, CEO of JetZero, Amelia DeLuca, Delta Chief Sustainable Officer. I do want to ask, though, is this just going to be in addition to your regular fleet of planes, or is this supposed to replace what you already have?
So when we think about the future of travel, we are thinking about all the ways that we travel more sustainably, from products on board today. You'll see our paper cups start to roll out this month, to how we move towards zero emissions in the future. But this is going to take time. And so JetZero is one of many solutions that we're looking towards. We're looking towards fuels of the future that can be created from renewable circular sources. And then as we start to think about the aircraft of the future, we're looking at a number of solutions. We're looking at smaller electric fleet or hydrogen propulsion. But this one's really exciting because, as Tom mentioned, it's planned for the 2030s. The Air Force is behind it. And I think as soon as Delta had a chance to support it, we would start to phase it in our fleet. It's a really beautiful aircraft that fits well within Delta's. No one better connects the world, because it could take us to places that are much further away, as well as save on fuel for those journeys.
Well, aren't you going to have to reconfig some airports? Because the thing is so wide to be able to pull it in. You know what I mean? Like, it seems, how many more times wider than a regular plane is it?
It actually, and this is where JetZero and Delta have such a great relationship, because we're saying to JetZero, hey, if you want this thing to fly, it has to fit at our existing gates that we have today for our wide-body aircraft. So it actually, right now, there's nothing stopping this right now.
Tom, is this aircraft going to replace existing planes like a 737 or an A320, like for short-haul routes, or is this just going to be longer international runs?
It'll start out as longer international runs. It'll be efficient at any range is the beauty of this plane, up to its max range of about 5,000 nautical miles. I live in Los Angeles. That's LA to London. That's a big, long flight. So the beauty of it, though, is that think about the time horizon. We have to make a transition, and this transition will take decades. But I believe that between 2050 and 2100, all big planes are going to look like this, because it's just the most efficient way to go, and you can't beat it. So it takes a long time to go through, planes last for 20, 30 years. So we're going to be seeing tube and wings for the rest of our life, but eventually on some time horizon, all planes are going to look like this.
Well, I would like to say as well, since we're on the phone, Barnes and I would volunteer to take a full plane load of Morning X listeners for an inaugural flight.
For a test?
If you guys would, you need someone to volunteer for that. I mean, Barnes is raising his hand right now.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be right on that.
Yes.
I do want to see that inside, though.
We always love that. We love people who want to join the mission.
Well, thank you for sharing all of this. My goal for this year is to be, Amelia, is to be a Delta 360. I feel like I've been so close.
Sweet.
It's the hidden
You
level.
and me both, brother.
I know, it's that hidden level. I swipe that card. I swipe that Delta Reserve all the time. All right, Tom O'Leary, CEO.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. CEO of JetZero, and Amelia DeLuca, Chief Sustainability Officer at Delta. Thank you both for your time. This is fascinating. Can't wait to see it in person.
Right on. Thank you so much.
You got it. This is
Bye.
the original. This is 99X.
Bravo TV star Lala Kent holds nothing back.
There's been so many times where I'm like, I apologize that I said that, but that wasn't meant for you to hear.
Feel you there.
How fun would it be to bring in some Bravo celebrities and make our own bracket?
Iconic.
All right, I'll take Dorinda, you take Sonia.
Sonia is who I wish I could be.
You and me both. I cannot be someone in the program. What's PTO?
Pay time off. See? You've never had a real job.
Give them Lala.
It is nothing but honesty.
You guys know.
Follow and listen on your favorite platform.